I'm not one for speculations, but Matt Duchene yesterday came out and said a couple of things that, if you're a fan of the Senators, has to have you thinking, okay, it's an all or nothing thing potentially. Matt Duchene wants to see how the Ottawa Senators progress with Erik Karlsson and forward Matt Stone. Um, and then he'll decide whether or not he's gonna look at signing with Ottawa. So here's the gist of it. Basically, um, he wants to play with Stone, and he's talked to Stone about wanting to be in Ottawa and build something together. The issue is he wants to see what's going to happen with Karlsson and Stone and where the team's headed. So he'll also be looking at how they start the season before deciding whether or not he may or may not want to stay in Ottawa. He's pretty clear in the article, and I'll link it in the description below this video, that he's not really interested in a full rebuild. Not really interested in that. He wants a chance to win, and he's talked to John Tavares over the summer, and he totally understands why Tavares left the Islanders to go to Toronto, and basically he's completely willing to do the same thing. And here's the thing. He's not wrong. You get a chance to cash in like Tavares did this summer once. You get a chance once to sign a contract that's 7 or 8 years in length, that's for a ton of money, where you've got stability and you get to decide which city you play in. You get to decide that once. After that, you're going to probably have a 2 or 3 year contract somewhere, and you're going to be past your prime. You may not have a chance to play for one of those contending teams because either you may be priced out of their range, or they may be looking for somebody younger and a little more fleet of foot than you are. You may not be as fleet of foot as you were when you signed that 8 year deal. So for Duchene, he's got one shot at this. He's very clear that he's been watching all the drama play itself out over the summer. I've had some fun reading yearbooks and articles regarding the Ottawa Senators offseason and talking about how it was a disaster. And they don't really get into why or how, other than, well, Hoffman's gone because of drama, and they just leave it at that. And it's interesting because, yeah, it's been a long summer if you're an Ottawa fan. For me, okay, just in doing this and talking to you guys about this, it feels like this crap's been going on since January. Feels like it's been going on forever. And yet Ottawa had a relatively decent start last year, and then it all kind of fell apart for them. They were smart enough to lose their games in overtime, so when they did lose, they still got a point for it, so they were still in the running, but then the bottom fell out. Now, I think the question you have to ask yourself if you're Pierre Dorian is, what do you commit to Duchene? Now, and Duchene admits that the pecking order is Karlsson first, Stone second, and him third. So as far as he's concerned, by the time they come to him, he'll already have made up his mind. But do you maybe circle back to him first? Do you try to get him signed first so you can go back to Stone and say, hey, Matt's sticking around. Can we discuss contract now? Can we talk term? Can we talk money? Do you go back to Karlsson and say we have signed a long-term deal with Duchene, so we're committed to making things better now? Or and the interesting thing is, of course, and I've said this before, if Ottawa gets off to a good start, let's just say that at the end of October, early November, they're cruising along at about, say, like a 10-5-1 record, something like that. This could all smooth over. And this could all suddenly get better if these guys feel like, hey, we've got a chance to win here. And then Karlsson may very well sign a deal. And whenever, I've seen this in numerous articles, I haven't really reported on it because it's nothing to report. But when a guy says, I'm not negotiating a contract during the season, yeah, but every now and then you'll see a guy say that, and then he'll sign when a team makes him an offer he really can't refuse. So it's like, well, you were asking 10. If we give you 10 and a half, will you sign it now? Yeah, sure, yep, yes, yep. Where do I sign? So there's always that chance. So if you're a fan of the Senators, how do you feel about all this? Is Duchene the guy that you want to see the team build around at center? Is it blow it up time? My issue's always been this, and I say this as a guy who's followed the Senators for years, decades, since they had joined the league in '92. If you're gonna trade off Carlson and if you're going to give up and get rid of Stone and Duchene, what are you getting back for them? And how deep does this rebuild go? Are you looking at a 5 or 6 year period before you're competitive again? Like, and when you decide to tear it all down, it's not that easy to build it all back up again. Look at some of the teams in the league that have been out of the playoffs for a long time and are still not guaranteed a playoff spot going into this season. So it can be really, really dangerous. But I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this matter. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.